Discord.gg/KG Lounge. And with that being said, y'all can get right into it. Take them to the attic, twin. Take them to the attic.
Alrighty. So, you said you wanted an argument?
Yeah.
Okay, and insofar as your theory of argumentation there, I want to know whether or not you're presupposing these type of monotonic inferences, or in the relevant dialectic, you're open to these type of defeasible.
You don't need to know none of. You don't need to know about none of that,
inferences.
bitch. You just need to give me an
So
argument.
this is because I don't know what you're asking me for, right? If it's the case that I can
Just
take some
take your
type of
semantics,
non-inferential
bro.
view, then I'm not going to be
Just take your
dialectically obligated
semantics.
to give you an argument, given that we're not deriving it from some type of inference. So
Just
answer the
take your
question.
semantics. I'd like an argument, presumably with an inference in
Oh,
it. Yes.
under my semantics of an argument?
Yeah. Whatever your semantics are, if they're like not standard, I'll investigate and we can clarify. But hopefully, we're both English speakers who use the term argument like a similar way. So if it's weird, I'll investigate and we can talk about it. But
yeah, so I'm just gonna be because you are agreeing to neutral semantics here. You're operating under my semantics of an argument. So if I provide you an argument under my semantics,
I'm just saying
it's the case that you're going to be accepting it, right?
I'm saying prima facie, assuming that you're an English speaker and we have relevantly similar semantic circles. I'm gonna take whatever your semantics are because
yeah, I don't have reasons to believe that. I don't have reasons to believe that.
But of course, I'm qualifying upon investigation. If you're,
I don't have reasons to believe that.
Hold on, I'm just saying, if upon investigation we look at what you mean by an argument, it's actually something really not standard or really, just really odd semantically, then of course that's gonna accept as
okay, yeah, that's fine. Right. So by argument here,
okay,
we're just going to be talking about this type of demonstration that ethical egoism is going to be that for which is conceptually unethical. Okay, is that good enough?
That's what you mean by argument, or that's what the argument's going to be?
That's what I mean by argument, a demonstration that is conceptually unethical. But also, I mean,
a demonstration that is conceptually unethical.
Yeah, or at least a demonstration that it's not true.
Yeah, if you can demonstrate that it's not true, I think that's a kind of argument, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so insofar as this type of truth talk here, we can just take this type of elitic nihilist account and say that in order to have truth, in order for the truth function to operate consistently, you need to consistently get truth in and truth out. Things like the liar's paradox show that there's not going to be this type of property that's able to consistently account for truth in and truth out, insofar as the elitic property there. And then we can just deny the elitic property altogether and replace the acceptability, the truth conditions with acceptability conditions, and then
Okay, so is the point just supposed to be that like no proposition is true? So of course,
if it's the case that no proposition is true, then it's not the case that ethical egoism is true. Yeah.
I just want to understand, like, when you say is the case, like, what are you saying that does that have truth value when you say is the case? Is if you're not self-defeating?
No, it's not a truth. It's not a truth value.
Okay, so when you say demonstrate,
right, because I don't think truth has any type of.
What exactly are you demonstrating? Are you demonstrating the truth of a proposition? What are you demonstrating?
No, we're demonstrating.
You said an argument is a demonstration.
Ethical egoism is true.
Distinction between not the case and
we're demonstrating that the elitic property there is going to be the type of thing which is fails, right? Has no semantic underpinning.
Do you take the T schema to be the case?
No, I don't accept the T schema.
Okay, so when you say you're demonstrating that something is the case, what exactly does that mean?
Well, when we talk about it being the case, we can just say that it's pragmatically acceptable insofar as it's conflict free.
Okay, so is the case and
but I know you want the amps, so like I'm just giving you the amps. But yes, it is the case and truth are separate. Given that I'm a elitic nihilist, of course I'm going to be talking about two separate things there. Why the fuck would I affirm that there's no truth and then say that a proposition is true? I'm not that retarded, Liam. Do you want the amps?
Okay. I mean, you're just like
I can give you the amps on what we talk about when we're talking about pragmatic acceptability. Do you want the amps?
You keep going nasty, bro. Just relax.
Do you want the amps?
We're just going to investigate the elite.
Do you want the amps, bitch?
Relax, calm yourself.
It's a binary question. I just want to know if you want the amps or not.
I know it's also
I understand that you don't know.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
arithmetically invalid. What does it mean to be arithmetically invalid here?
Well, actually, one of the conditions isn't met, which is that it's not informative. So just relax. It's also presupposing something false, which is that I need amps. So stop being retarded.
Presupposing false. You understand that truth and falsity is what's in question right now. So that's actually you're going to be question begging when you say that given proposition.
Well, it's not. You
understand that you're question begging because we're bringing into question the elitic properties. Right, retard.
Okay,
what's in question right now is the elitic property. You're question begging.
It was a tangential issue, so
No,
actually
it's not. It's not a tangential issue because what I'm
Because
bringing into account, what I'm bringing into question
of
is
it
the
being
property of
meta
falseness, retard.
about
So what the
was
fuck
a
are you talking about? You're
situation
highly confused right now. You're question begging out your
I
ass.
just explained
So
to you
just
the
shut the fuck up
distinction.
talking about false.
I just
You're
explained
question
to you the
begging.
distinction
What we're bringing into
between
account is
the
the
relevant
aleatic property of
dialogues.
falseness and
There were two
truthness.
different
Right?
dialogues.
You understand that those are aleatic properties?
There
Yes or
were
no,
two
retard?
different
Are those aleatic
dialogues.
properties?
Oh, no,
Are
now
those
you're
aleatic
aping.
properties?
There were two different dialogues. You're
Are those aleatic
misunderstanding it as
properties?
a kind of begging the question.
Why are you not
Because
answering the question?
it's not as if me saying that is articulate
Look,
not is supposed to be a
do you
demonstration
want
of
to
the truth of
conclude?
the original
Do you want to
issue.
conclude?
I mean,
Do
do
you
you
want to
think you've
conclude?
adequately satisfied your burden here?
Because
Because
look,
we're not even started, bro.
Look, is it the case that falsity is an aleatic property? Yes or no?
Okay, you understand this is tangential to what I'm talking about?
Is it the case that
Is
falsity
it the case that
is an
you're talking
aleatic
about
property?
the issue? Look, we can talk about the substance of your view.
I'm talking
That's
about you
fine.
question begging right now. I'm talking about you question begging
Okay,
because my
that's not
entire
the
argument is bringing into
the
question
central
the
issue.
aleatic properties.
That's not, I already
So what
told
the
you
fuck are you
it's not
talking
begging the
about?
question. That's not use the demonstration to justify
Do you
the
want to
proof of the
conclude?
substantial claim. Of course
Look,
not. I'm still talking to you.
look. I want an answer to this binary question.
Oh,
If you don't
want to
answer this, we
to the
can conclude
tangential
here.
question.
The
What is
binary
this,
question,
like
yes.
pigeonholed?
I don't give a
That's not
fuck if it's
relevant. What?
tangential. What's the problem with it being tangential?
So
That's
it's
not
not
actually an
relevant
attack
to the
relation
substance.
on the argument that I'm giving. It
It's
doesn't
an
offer up
attack-
some
oh,
type of
shit.
undercutting
Oh, shit.
or defeating
Is it
relation.
attack relation?
You understand that,
Attack
right?
relation? Yo,
It doesn't
enter
offer
into
up some
attack
type of
relation, bro.
undercutting or defeating relation. You understand that,
Enter
right?
into the
Relative to the
attack
given
relation.
dialectic. Me going on a tangent is not going to be some type of undercutting or
Do you
defeating relation relative to my given
understand?
conceptual scheme.
Do you
Given that
actually-
it doesn't
okay, I'll let
necessitate
you
that
finish
any
your
member in
round.
the set
It's
offers
cool.
up some type of attack relation to some other member in the set, right? You're getting beat the fuck up right now. So do you want to conclude?
No, understand that me
But okay,
calling
look.
your statement tangential, that's actually
I
me
can give
telling
you
that
amps.
it doesn't.
So I'm going to give you amps.
Stop.
Calm down.
Do we need mods?
I'm going to
bro?
give you
Like,
amps.
By
I'm
me
gonna give you
saying
amps
that
now.
your statement is tangential.
When we're talking about
are
conceptual
we
ethics,
done?
because
Right,
I know you
like,
asked
what
that
are we
question
doing?
earlier.
Is this guy gonna keep
I
just
know
talking
you.
over me?
I know
Like,
you
we need a
asked the
mod?
question of conceptual ethics
Don't
earlier.
make me
Right? You're
answer
getting
the
beat the
mod,
fuck
bro,
up.
because that's just gonna have to happen, bro. Do we need a mod?
Yeah, we can get
Relax.
moderation. Actually, we could do talk and stick too. That's
Let's get a
fine.
mod,
So I can
bro.
do my little lecture.
Let's get a mod, bro. Can we get
Just
a
do
mod?
a manual talking stick. You guys will know when to respond and not respond. You see what I'm saying?
All right,
So
nice.
Cap can start. Cap, just take him to
he's
the
not
attic,
starting
son.
nothing. He's not starting nothing.
You
He's
signed
not
off
starting
on
nothing.
the
What, am I
idea.
not going?
Hold
Did I
on.
get cut
Stop.
for now? Why am I getting cut
I
off?
thought it was my
I'm
turn to
the
talk
I'm
because
the
you
person who
stopped
asked for a
talking for
mod.
like
Why
5
the fuck would
seconds.
you get? Why? Okay, so obviously we don't know
Okay, you
when
can
to
speak,
interrupt.
faggot. Go ahead. Go ahead, lady.
Thanks, bro. Hey, dude, don't be misogynistic.
Ladies
like
first.
that.
Go ahead.
All right, dude, don't be much. Yeah, so something that's false in response to me saying that you're doing my comment about aerothetic validity was not an attempted demonstration of the truth of the primary issue. So then when I called it tangential, and then you went on this fucking stupid monologue about how that doesn't enter into attacking relation, it shows you're severely autistic and can't track, because me saying that your commentary is tangential is me pointing out that it doesn't enter into attacking relation with respect to the primary dialogue. That's why it's tangential. It doesn't undercut at all. And it doesn't provide, it's not defeasible at all. So, I mean, I don't know what this fucking point is. I just want to talk about the primary issue, which is you being an aleatic nihilist, and that's why you think you're justifying the proposition or whatever. I'd also be interested to understand what you mean when you say, when you defend the proposition, are you defending it as the case? You're defending that proposition that is true, right? Because like presumably whenever I answer the discussion, whenever you say, I'm going to be defending the proposition that it's false that ethical egoism is true. In my mind, you're trying to assert that that proposition is true. And now if you're talking about, if you're trying to revise the parameters of your affirmation to be something where you're not even speaking ethically, then, I mean, of course, I mean, I don't even know if, I mean, that's kind of like, trying to debate me on false pretenses. There might have been a confusion there because I'm interested in talking about whether that proposition is true. If you're not interested in doing that, then, I mean, we just have a fundamentalist agreement. I mean, if you want to talk about liars and you want to change the issue of the debate, that's fine too. And we talk about semantic paradoxes and how that relates to logic. But so what do you want? You want to, are you going to clarify your burden, and then we can see where to go from there?
Okay, thank you. So I understand that you wanted to eat time up for the optics, right? That's fine, right? We can do that all day. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be giving you a lecture. You said it's the case that I'm presupposing something that's false. What's in question right now in this current dialectic is the aleatic property of falsity and truth, which is a property that presumably you want to say is applicable to propositions. If it's the case that falsity doesn't obtain, then I can't be presupposing something that's false, right? And what I'm bringing into question right now is whether or not falsity obtains. So you're question begging. You are question begging, right? And you know that you made that blunder, which is why you wanted to eat time up for the optics. Now you ask, well, what do I mean when I defend the proposition? What do I mean when I defend the proposition, right? And you said we can take semantic neutrality on the term argument. So I told you from the onset that when I talk about these arguments, all I'm saying is that I'm demonstrating it to be the case, and I'm demonstrating it to be conceptually ethical. Okay. And you might be asking, well, what does it mean to be the case, right? When I talk about it being the case, all that means to say is that it's pragmatically acceptable or conflict-free within our given conceptual scheme. And what it means to be conflict-free, because I know you need the amps, is just that you take some conceptual scheme S, right? You have the set, and then you want to say that no member within the set offers up some type of undercutting relation or attacking relation towards another member of the set. And undercutting relations are therefore which are going to be normative. It talks about reasons to reject or reasons, just reasons to reject the theory. Now, clearly, if it's the case that the property falseness doesn't obtain, right, then I can't be presupposing something that's false. Okay? So, what I want you to do here, right, because you talked about burdens, I reject burdens altogether. You're going to need to give some justification that I have any type of burden within this dialectic, right? Because we can just take some type of given dialectical model where burdens aren't the type of things that obtain, okay? So can you give that justification? Because you made the claim that it is the case that I have a burden. So can you justify that?
And that's the case by bivalent decidability, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you are
continuing
using
the
bivalent
conversation.
decidability.
Am I good? Am I good to speak? Okay, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
so let's just respond to that according to the flow. One, you didn't respond to what I said about arithmetic validity being tangential. You just said that it was me, sucking up time for optics. That was like a really clever way to appeal and not address the issue, which is that what you said didn't enter into a undercutting or attacking relation with the content of what I said. So on your own grounds, it was irrelevant, right? That's why I called it a tangent. I don't know why you would adopt your theory of argumentation to avoid a lot of philosophical rigor just to fucking utilize it in a way that's inconsistent with what you're advocating for. Again, the point I made was that whenever you're
About these
defending the
type of-
proposition, okay, I'm still
stop.
speaking. I'm speaking.
My
Why are you saying
warranting
stop?
is going to be that for which
I
is
don't care. I don't care.
or-
Look,
my interrupting
I'm
is warranted within the
going.
dialectic.
No, it's not. No,
So,
it's not. Okay.
insofar
okay,
as your theory of arithmetic validity,
This is where we need
right,
This is where
I
we
want
need
you to further explicate the
We need a mod.
concept.
We need a mod.
You're getting
We
beat
need
the
a-
fuck
we
up
need a
right now,
mod.
and you're begging for
Do you not need
moderation
a
because you're
mod?
getting beat the fuck up.
Because you're
Can you further
lying. What
explicate the
you agreed to
concept of
false
arithmetic
terms.
validity?
You
I don't know why.
agreed
I don't
to
even know why I
false
should
terms.
adopt these type of
Do we
talks
need
within
a
my given
mod?
conceptual
Do we
model.
genuinely need a
Okay,
mod?
so answer the question.
Do we
Answer the question.
genuinely
You're
need a
stalling
mod?
for the optics, and I want you to further
grasping for
explicate.
straws
So you said
after optics.
arithmetic
What do you mean?
validity is
You're grasping for
tangential.
straws
I don't know why I
because
should
you're
adopt these
interrupting
type
me
of
and I'm
concepts within my
exposing
given
you.
conceptual scheme. But also,
continue,
you haven't
bro?
justified that I have a burden within this given dialectic. I told you I reject
I
burdens,
continue?
so you're gonna have to justify that as well. So
Okay.
explicate the concept of arithmetic validity, so I can address the main point for which you cried about me not addressing.
Yo, are we
So
getting a
explicate
mod
the
or not,
concept.
bro? Are we getting a mod or
Explicate the
not, bro?
concept. You're getting beat the fuck
Are we
up right
getting
now.
a mod or not, bro?
Explicate the
Reject
concept.
moderators, nigga.
Where are the mods at? Like, I don't understand. So
Explicate the concept
I'm
of
gonna
arithmetic
continue. I'm
validity.
gonna continue with what I'm saying. Now look, given
Explicate the
your
concept of arithmetic
stop,
validity.
retard, relax.
Oh,
Now,
I'm
given your
retarded?
theory,
Explicate the
given your theory-
concept. You're
given
getting
your
beat the fuck
theory
up right
of
now. You're
a-
getting thrown the
given
fuck
your
off.
theory
You
of
don't
a
know what the fuck you're
proposition
talking
being
about.
conflict free.
Oh,
you
I don't
got this
hold to
extremely-
propositions.
Okay, dude. Well, what do you think we're talking about right now? But nevertheless,
I don't hold to
Um,
propositions.
okay, maybe you don't hold to
Insofar
it,
as
but
there's
you
going to be this type
certainly-
of intrinsic
okay.
subject predicate relation.
I mean, do you
Right,
feel
when
like
you're
the
talking
urge to
about these
speak
type of
every
things,
time I say literally
typically,
anything?
you're going to be talking about these type of
Am I getting a
intrinsic
mod, bro?
relations
Like,
that there's going to be
what are we
intrinsically
doing?
terms, right? And I reject that. Okay.
Like, do we need to move to close? I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, this guy.
Do you want to close?
No,
You
I
have
don't wanna
multiple
move to close. I
burdens
wanna
on the
continue
table
with what
right
I'm
now.
saying.
You have multiple
Really?
burdens
Do
on the
I?
table.
I thought you
Yeah.
didn't believe in burdens, retard.
Well, we can use burden in this type of other way,
right? Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You don't
now
have to
you're
hold that they're the
backtracking, yeah.
case.
Now, let's
You
move
can
to
say
closing,
you can
retard.
say that
Yeah, move
burdens
to
are these
closing,
type of
bro.
things
Let's move
for
to
which we
closing,
adopt
bro.
insofar as
Yeah,
you
I
can be a
don't believe in
fictionalist
burdens, so
about
you're
burdens.
obligated to give
You
a
can be a
burden.
fictionalist
Yeah,
about burdens,
yeah,
retard.
let's go to
You can be a
closing, bro.
fictionalist about burdens and say that it's not the case that burdens obtain,
Let's go to
but
closing,
they're
bro.
fictional insofar as
Let's go
they're
to
useful for
closing,
the given
bro.
dialectic.
Dude. You can
Okay?
explain all this in your
Are you
closing,
dumb?
bro. You can explain all
Are
this
you
in your
dumb?
closing. You can go first.
You can be a fictionalist about burdens
Yeah, dude, explain all
insofar
this
as
in
they're
your
useful
closing,
for the
bro.
given dialectic, but you
That's
don't
why you're
have to
desperately
affirm
trying
that
not
they
to move to
obtain.
closing because you know you're.
Can you contend with that? Because you just try to convey it as if I blundered.
Yeah, bro.
Right? When I just said you can be a fictionalist about burdens.
I'll talk about it in closing, bro. That's where we need
Okay, I
You
mean,
got it,
if you want to
bro.
conclude here, you just fucking lost, by the way.
You got it, bro. Give your last statement and then I'll go.
Okay, so from the onset, I put into question the alethetic property, right? And then he said I'm presupposing something that's false, in which falsity is an alethetic property, which is what I'm bringing into question. So he was trivially question begging there. Then he said, what do I mean when I defend the proposition? I told him I'm defending it as the case insofar as it being pragmatically acceptable or conflict free. Then I told him I don't believe in propositions, right? You can just be a fictionalist there and say that it's useful for the given dialectic. Then he said, he went on this whole point about arithmetic validity, and I told him to explicate the concept. and he didn't actually explicate the concept, right? Because that was the main point. He was crying about me not responding to. So I told him explicate the concept so I can fucking respond and have him stop crying. And then he didn't want to explicate into the attic, and he knew he couldn't meta debate, right? He's trash. He's not a good debater at all, right? He told me we could presuppose neutral semantics for the argumentation talk. He didn't bring into account. He didn't really offer up any type of attack relation to anything I'm saying. I think he's extremely retarded. And yeah, you can give your closer now.
Thanks, big bro. Yeah, so just recall how we got here. Let's just account for the context. It'll make complete sense why Cappuccino's a liar and a fraud. What had happened was he did not. So in trying to justify the proposition, which we agreed was a proposition, in trying to justify the proposition that it is not the case that ethical egoism is true, he offered up, basically truth nihilism or whatever, truth nihilism, or whatever. And then after I said we could talk about that and we could investigate some of the bullshit there, namely I wanted to talk about liar's paradox. I wanted to talk about the paradoxes. What this guy did, okay, as I responded, I said, what he did is, do you need the amp, right? In response to this meta issue about do you need the amp, right, where he tried to pigeonhole me into a yes or no and then like force closing after I wanted to talk about the sums of the issue. When he felt that coming, he pigeonholed into do you need the amp? I said it was tangential. And then after I called it tangential, right, I then said it was aerotetically invalid. Now, what I said was aerotetically invalid was the question, do you need the amp? Because the question presupposes something false. Now, it's important to understand that this is not a kind of begging the question, because it's not the case that my statements about aerotetic validity, about the meta comment about whether or not I need the amp, that's not getting given as a defense of the primary issue, which is whether or not it is the case that some propositions are true. So it's not the case that's begging the question. After I pointed this out, he simply did not respond to it, right? He just said that I was trying to pigeonhole for optics and actually conceded this point, and it went completely drops. Now, after I pointed that, he then talked about his theory of argumentation. He talks about what it means for something to be pragmatically useful, right? And instead of allowing us to go into the actual issue, trying to demonstrate paradoxes, trying to derive them, right? What instead he did, he went on this fucking faggot thing where he goes, oh yeah, you're presupposing burdens, but I don't believe in burdens. So what you need to do, I don't believe in obligations. So you're gonna need to give a justification for the existence of burden. Never mind the fact that it's obviously a fucking burden. It's extremely performative. This fucking retard decides to backpedal after getting silent stun locked for 3 seconds and go, well, actually, you can interpret burden in a fictionless way. Yeah, you could have interpreted fucking burdens in any which optic way whenever I fucking used burden language. But in fact, you did this stupid fucking thing where you cited direct con, right? So you have this fucking dual interpretation of whatever the understandably reasonable interpretation of the semantics would be whenever I utter something along the lines of you need to give or, you're obligated to give. And you did all this fucking faggotry in an attempt to just avoid the fact that you don't have a very good argument in defense of ethical egoism. And that's why when we were even discussing the debate of the proposition, you wouldn't give up the argument that you already fucking conceded within 5 seconds originally a month ago. And you begged to debate me on a topic like this. That way you could do these fucking linguistic tricks and tactics for people to just see that, no, ultimately you're fraud and you got blown the fuck out despite your best attempts. So look, when judgment comes and ultimately you fucking lost consensus, you understand, like, it's okay. So just internalize this loss. Let's go judge.
Okay, me as the agreed upon judge, I think Cap won
Yo,
because
fuck
you
you,
didn't,
bitch.
you didn't go against the trivalent recursive enumerability. Go against that.
Nigga, you're not the judge. You lying piece of shit.
All right, guys, one for Cap.
Trivalent recursive enumerability, nigga.
Whoa, relax, man, relax.
No, my
Okay.
nigga, I'm passionate
Anyways,
about that.
stop,
Chill.
bro. Stop.
Chill.
All right, so let's let
He's talking, everyone gets server muted.
Yeah,
The official judgment,
all right,
Divinityy
cool guy can go next. Cool guy, what's
we're
verdict?
gonna-
Get server muted.
Well, can me and my colleague Pippi convene before we give verdict?
Bro, get cool guy, give verdict to him.
Well, I have something prepared. I think Divinity won because he successfully collapsed his opponent's burden fictionless substrate into a self-negating alethic asymmetry before the dialectical frame could stabilize, which is just frankly amazing. It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen happen mid-debate. And once he demonstrated that the opponent's quasi-inferential norm scheme is still relied on covertly robust truth-tracking commitments, the entire anti-realist architecture underwent immediate modal decoherence. And the attempted retreat into weak alethic nihilism only accelerated the implosion. I mean, Divinity simply recontextualized the opponent's semantic permissibility operator through a second-order defeater lattice and exposed the latent contradiction between his pragmatic expressivism and his transcontextual justificatory indexing. And then after that, every response generated additional meta epistemic leakage.
You're scamming me, by the way. You could shut the fuck up, gang. You already gave verdict.
It was a good effort put up.
Okay, you already
Yeah, so
gave
put in the
verdict,
question
gang.
I'm asked. Why would that be the case?
Okay, who else is giving a verdict?
Pippi, next judge. Pippi, next judge.
Yeah, Liam won.
Add that
Scam.
to your record. Fuck you.
They scammed the fuck out of me, by the way.
Scam.